All right. Well, with that, Mira, you are going to unfortunately have to be the first person to exit this game. You were not voted out. For medical reasons, you must be pulled.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for
Thank
knowing what you need. And we are going to kill this for you.
You guys are going to do so great.
I don't want to go back to camp now.
All right, yeah, grab your stuff, head on back. We got to start figuring out the
Sorry.
logistics for the rest
All
of the
right.
day.
Yep.
Be safe. You got this.
Where?
Well, are you all ready to get to your first immunity challenge? For your all's first immunity challenge, you're going to be competing in a relay race. You're going to pair up into groups of 2, and each group is going to be responsible for a different portion of the relay. Each pair's goal is to collect a block with a number on it. Once they have that block, they bring it back to this starting point where there's a box with a combination lock on it. The first group is going to be competing in strength, which is going to be a tire flipping competition. They must flip their tire across a field, collect their blocks, and then flip the tires back to the starting point. Once their tires are back, the next group will go, which is a race, and each pair is going to have their hands tied together behind their back, meaning they are literally tied to each other. And then they must use their feet to get the box back to their starting point. After that, we have a slingshot competition where each person will have a slingshot and attempt to pop 5 balloons that is the color of their team. Once all of their balloons are popped, they can retrieve their block. The fourth station will have wooden sticks and rope. They must use those materials to build a pole that is long enough and strong enough to collect a carabiner with a key on it. Once they have their key, they can get their box and return to the starting point. Once all 4 boxes are back to the starting point, the remaining person will use the numbers on those boxes to open the combination lock. Once the combination lock is open, there will be a set of matches inside the box, and any 2 people will use those matches to build a fire that is tall enough to break a rope on their fire making station. The first team to break their rope wins immunity. All right, I'll give you all a minute to strategize.
No, we got this.
Serious. Come on, this one. Come on, guys. Come on.
I'll bug you with my wiener.
All right. For a chance to win the first immunity, survivors ready? Go! All 4 guys working like crazy.
Good, Ryan. Good, Eric.
Ryan back
Carlos,
first.
you're good.
Eric back. Both of them chuck it. All of them working hard. This is not easy. This is supposed to be difficult. It's Survivor. All 4 men working. Don't forget the box. All those guys.
Guys got this, man. Oh. Good. Get it. You guys got this.
guy there, first guy.
Take your time. Take your time. Make it good. Take the time to also take your time.
Oh, it's going out. It's on. Got it?
All right, okay. Go, go, go.
I have a bunch of sticks.
All right. Any more leads?
That's irritating. That's all right. Sorry, guys.
No, hey.
Hey, y'all did great.
Yeah, hey.
Y'all did great.
That's the worst.
I'm so sorry, guys. That's brutal.
Don't even.
That was the
Don't even.
That was the
Don't
toughest
even.
one.
It was.
It's the toughest
Yeah,
one.
That challenge is hard as fuck.
Yeah, don't do that. No, no.
Sorry, guys. You guys tried it all the way to the end. We didn't give up until their fucking rope was
Yeah.
done.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good. We got chairs and.
All right, tell me about last night.
So, last night was a pretty mixed bag of emotions. We won our first challenge, and it was for immunity, which feels amazing, but in the process, we still lost somebody. Mira was medically pulled from the game, and that was somebody I wanted to work with. So, definitely had to go back to square one, think about how I'm going to approach this game, and the night was kind of just spent really getting to know each other. Since we didn't have tribal council, no one was really like stressed out or like strategizing too heavily, but I have formed a little alliance with Allison and Zach, and I know from before this Savannah and Ryan. Taylor and Joelle know each other, but I'd like to work with Taylor, so that only leaves May and Joelle on the like outs for me, and I'm kind of getting flashbacks to last season when I was like, I want to work with everybody, and that cannot be my strategy, so I need to be a little bit more cutthroat, make more decisions where I'm like, I can't be everybody's ally.
I obviously want us to keep winning, but I'm getting a little anxious as to when we do lose, what's going to happen. Because again, I've been going up to people, like asking for things to start. And everybody said yes. But I need people to come up to me. So I think now I'm going to sit back and see what happens if and when we do lose. And I feel like I'm going to kind of be in a middle situation already, so I'm gonna have to pick a side, and I don't know what I'll do.
So I think my position in this tribe is currently a little rocky, but I do still feel good about working with Allison and working with Zach, and all three of us want to work together, so that feels like a good group for me. Where I don't feel great is that, obviously, everyone knows I played last season, and if they're going to call me an all-star, I might as well put it on my front rather than my back. And I think, for the most part, I'm trying to not be the person that everybody goes to for surviving Bloomington information or questions about last season, because I kind of want to separate myself from that and play a new game. I'm currently just finding myself in a little bit of similar situations where I feel good with everybody and I kind of want to work with everybody, but if I do that, I won't create the solid relationships that I need deeper in the game, and then I'm going to get taken out in the double. So let's not wish that into existence.
As far as sides and groups, I feel like I can see Danny, Zach, May, maybe Savannah being a group, which I feel like I could easily fit in with because I do feel good with Danny and Zach. And then on the other hand, I also feel good with Taylor and Ryan. I would like for the three of us to have a conversation together. And Drew as well, and Joelle. Ooh, I feel like Joelle could be a middle person as well.
How does Mira exiting the game affect this group?
I think it changes the dynamics a lot because, for one, we go from a tribe of 10 to a tribe of 9, which means you only need 5 instead of usually if it's an even number, then people try to get like a 9 to 1 vote, but you only need 5 to run the game. So that changes it a lot. If you have to get into a group of 5, but it's very hard because there's so much relationships like that are crossing over, and maybe you want to work with one person but you know they're connected to somebody else, and it's hard to convince that one person to get rid of the person that they're connected to. Danny and Zach are getting close, and then Drew is close with Allison, and Savannah and Ryan are both from Minneapolis. I have a connection with Taylor that everybody knows about, but I also have a connection with Zach and Allison because we also played a different game together. So the name of the game is getting to 5, but it's hard because some people I want to work with, but I don't want to work with their partners. Like I would love to work with Drew, but Drew is kind of talking me up to like pulling Allison, and it's like we have past history that like I don't want to reopen, or like, you know, I want to work with Ryan, but he's connected to Savannah, and like that's my bounty, so like I might want her out, and it's just very, very hard to navigate because everybody kind of has a +1. So I'm like, I stayed up all night crunching numbers, like running, like what's the best path to get to the end. Another thing is like Mira was very closely connected to May. So that shifts May's game plan, because whereas she had like a ride or die number one, she might be like more feisty and like scramble more to like make a bigger moves to insulate herself. So we'll see what happens and how that changes her game plan. I'm definitely like, keeping an eye on her, because we did talk and we do want to go deep in this game together. But she's just so good. She's so like, so I'm worried.
I'm gonna knock on wood. Okay, I genuinely feel like I'm in a fairly good place. I've had one-on-one talks with Joelle, Savannah, Danny, Zach, trying to think if there's anyone else. Oh, and then slightly Ryan a little bit last night when we were coming back from water. As soon as we got our bounties the first day, I came back and I was like, listen, I don't really like this twist. I'm not gonna do anything about it. You're my bounty. I'd rather you know than be like paranoid that someone's out to get you. It's me and I'm not doing anything for it. And then he went to pick his bounty after me and he wasn't able to pull me aside earlier in the day yesterday, but when we were walking back from getting water, we kind of hung back and he's like, by the way, so we have each other, which is like so nice to know who has you for that exact reason. I can't be paranoid that like one of these people that I've had one-on-ones with is secretly like trying to get me out to get my singular key that I have.
I was a little nervous if we were gonna have to go to tribal council. I'm having a really hard time figuring out the dynamics of the tribe right now and where I'm at. So winning gave me the most precious thing in this game, a little bit more time to figure out what's going on. And there's some people that I still need to talk to, because from what I can tell, we've had like zero strategy talk. So it's kind of just been hanging out, walking around, always group waters. So it's like where do people stand really? So still figuring that out. I am really interested in working with Zach. I mean, from the get-go, it seemed like we had a connection. I really want to work with Danny as well. So, I mean, that would be a solid, like, group of three, I feel like. And I haven't been able to connect as much with everybody else as I wanted to, or it doesn't really feel like there's... I'm kind of feeling like I'm not, like, getting my groove in the game. Like, it's... Like I feel like other people are more connected than where I am right now, so that's why I was a little bit nervous. So I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what happens in a potential swap if I'm still here, because I think I'm gonna have to build some new relationships. So depending on who I'm with, I might try to start working with Dignitas.
I feel like everyone on our tribe is getting along really well. So if we were to go to tribal right now, I'm not exactly sure where it would go. I feel like personally I have made a lot of good connections and I feel like I would be safe, but I don't really know where a name would like gain traction. I think everyone's had like very minimal strategy talk because we're kind of just all together all the time so far, but yesterday I was walking like in the back of the group to get water and Allison mentioned Joel was walking in front of us and she was like, how do you feel about him? And I was like, oh yeah, great. I don't know if she knows that we are cool, but it's like, oh yeah, I feel great. And then I also like Ryan and Danny were walking to the left and I was like, also them. And she's like, oh yeah, I like that group. So that's awesome. Also, I could see myself working with May. I feel like my least strong of my connections right now is probably Zach and Savannah. Nothing against them, I just feel like I haven't really gotten like a lot of like bonding with them. So that's probably something I'll try to have to put in a little bit more effort in today.
This tribe is crazy. There are so many freaking good players, people who know a lot of different people, a lot of connections, and I think it's going to be interesting. I'm really hoping we Witch win because this tribe is stacked and I'm going to have a hard time deciding where I want to go, which also makes me nervous that there's a chance that, I don't know. We haven't had a ton of time to talk strategy. I think we've started to get some more one-on-one moments and little groups. There was a group yesterday that I was with, we walked to the water, and Zach actually found a couple keys along the path, and it was a group of 4 of us. It was me, Joelle, Allison, and Zach. So Zach, he's one that I initially kicked off with at the social. I was really excited to be on a tribe with him, but it seems like everyone is feeling that way. So I definitely want to keep working on that direction, make sure I'm good with them. Keep an eye on that. I know that's something that I'll have to worry about. I feel very good with with May, and I think we can work together. And then Danny, I think that would be like a 4 that I would really in my ideal world. That would be a 4. And now that we have 9, we need 1 more. So maybe pulling in someone like an Allison or Joelle, I think would be great. Which leaves then Taylor, Ryan, and Drew. Outside of that,
last night was awesome because we won our first immunity challenge. We won the first immunity challenge, which was great after having a more difficult time with the reward challenges. We, tied on the first one, I guess, lost the other 2, and that was discouraging to say the least. But it was really, really exciting, especially because we lost one of our members, Mira, who had to take herself out of the game for medical reasons. And so we knew that was probably going to happen before the immunity challenge started. And so we dedicated our challenge to Mira, and we smoked, and we got there, and we were lucky enough to win the first immunity.
I feel good, but I also feel anxious about it, because I know that's something I fall short in these games, is being able to contain me. I'm my worst enemy in these games. We needed to win that challenge last night, but I also was the reason we won that challenge with the sticky thing. And that's visible. Everyone sees that. So it's okay. So I'm sure the other tribe is well, Zach's doing really well over there, which is hard because I can't play the social game with them. And if we swap and I get screwed over, it's really likely that they'll get out competition like me.
Like I said, I think we're all vibing with each other really well. As much as I kind of reject the title of senior citizen or anything like that, the fact is I've got some snow on top of my head, and that presents some particular challenges with, getting together with people. I mean, as much as we like to say people are people, I mean, there are demographics and there are dynamics that just kind of go along with, your gender, your age, all sorts of things like that. And I'm feeling good about where I am. I'm blessed to have immunity myself in the first tribal council that we go to because of the donation thing. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I'm getting there. My goal is to just survive each day. I mean, I want to win. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to win. I certainly want to, make the merge and do all the things that you have to do before you get there. And so I'm hopeful that I'm making enough inroads with relationships in my tribe that'll happen.
As far as the person that I would love to be the first one out, it's going to be Allison. I was threatened by her coming in. Not as a person, but just as a player. She's really good. She has a great personality. Everyone loves chatting with her. She is always smiling. She has connections on this tribe as well. She's with Drew, but we keep calling him Greg. And to me, his name is Greg. He's no longer Drew. He is Drew reborn into Greg. But Allison has that connection there, and I don't know if they're gonna work together or not, but I would love to get her out. But I don't want to be the one that starts, in a perfect world, I'm not gonna be the one that starts a name of who to leave, unless someone comes for me and I have to defend myself.
Personally, I feel like I would lean more towards the potential Taylor, Ryan, Drew, Joelle side. But I do really like Danny, but Zach is my bounty, and I am positive that he has 3 keys. He might have 4, or if he has 3, then he definitely has some other advantage that I saw him pocket. So it wouldn't be the worst thing if he went out early and I still felt good with a side that I chose, because then I would collect all those keys.
walk around, you see things. There's so many different places you could put something. But I got a little Tony in me. Like, there's a little V over there on that pine tree. It's a perfect spot to put a little baggie. And you better believe there's a baggie there. There's like knobs and woods that are like hollowed out, they're rotting away, and they're great places to put baggies. And that's where I found a baggie. So I found 4. I feel like there might be more out there, but I also wouldn't be surprised if I just cleaned out this camp with the keys, because that would be 6. It's been fun. I'm curious if there's going to be any like idols or anything hidden, because I'd love to find that too. Like, why not? Let's collect them all. Pokemon Master.
How's my hair look? Like crazy? It's fine. I don't care.
Oh, I hope that makes the cut, the edit. Okay. It's filming, so, and it's focused, so just like whenever. Hold on. Okay.
So, I won't talk too loud, but Gibble's about to get outed, and this is why. Because he is gonna, I feel so bad, bless his heart. I mean, he's like trying his best in the physical challenges, but I think none of us have really connected with him at all on like a personal level, and he misses like cues in the challenges that are like, Gibble, I feel so bad for him, but it's like, you can just tell obviously that he's like not fitting in very well.
Last night was very interesting. To start, I got to tackle May Mazer-Smith, so that's the highlight of my day, if nothing else. We got back to camp after losing that immunity challenge, and man, it takes everything in me not to game immediately. I have played so many orgs and played another LRG, and every instinct in my body tells me that I have to go to people and just start throwing out names and start asking people who they're gonna vote. But I know that it's gonna come naturally, and I just have to wait.
Potentially people are starting to like want to out Carlos as a second option. I think that he is great like strength wise for physical challenges. Like yesterday when we were doing like the tire lifts and stuff, he was like great for that. He's strong and everything. I just think that he is kind of outcasting himself a little bit too much, to the point where people are like, we're not too sure about him. Is he talking about me behind my back, or is he like going and teaming up with other people? So I think everyone's on the same page with that as well.
It is day 2, and I barely slept last night because it was hot as hell. And then Eleanor, how do you say her name?
Eleanor.
Or
Ellie.
Okay, Ellie. She was sleeping on the hammock the entire night, and I was there just watching her sleep. And she's like snored. She slept like 8 hours. It must be nice. I have been trying to solidify my relationships in my tribe. I think that I'm pretty close with Jacob. He told me he found 2 keys.
The other name I threw out was Jacob, in that I have been very weary from my very first confessional that a lot of the conversations he's been having are, hey, have you found the idol? Hey, have you tried looking for it? Hey, let's all go looking for a group and find all these keys in the woods. And it seems like every time I look around, he's either trying to have a one-on-one conversation or he's poking through the damn trees with his stick. So if there's anyone who's got anything, it's him.
I found 2 more scrolls today. So hopefully I will be able to get a total of 5 keys after this. I get 1 key for a piggyback vote, which is where I need to vote for the wrong person at a tribal council to be able to get this key.
He needs to vote somebody, the wrong person, and he's trying to vote for me. The problem is that Gibby and Maggie have been throwing my name out, saying that I'm hard to read or hard to talk to, which is fine because I barely talk to them, so I would understand why I'm hard to talk to them.
If you want to do that, that would be like the safest route, but that also costs you to lie more. I mean, you still have to lie, about voting for me though, right? Because like people are gonna be like, who voted for Carlos? Like, who's gonna be that second vote? And if you tell them that you did it,
they mind, you're like, oh, I thought they were close. Like, why would
No, yeah, I'd probably just say, I don't know, like I'd just play down.
So last night we got back to camp and it was eerily still. Nobody was going off, no scrambling. I thought I was losing my mind because everyone was just clustered together. So it wasn't until this morning that I even started talking to people. But last night, I'm pretty sure I did see Carlos looking through the rice, looking for some advantage, and I'm pretty sure I saw Eric leave the tent to go looking for keys before the sun came up. So we'll see, but I'm definitely sus on Eric.
So we got our first immunity challenge, and it does not go great. I was kind of hoping to be safe a little bit longer, but we get to one of the stations, and man, Francis and Brittany, they just...
Yes, I have an update on my injury count. Injury number 5 would be my pride from last night's immunity challenge. Survivor really is a roller coaster because I went from winning my tribe dinner to losing us immunity. It was devastating and I definitely feel very responsible. But immediately Brittany and I are like, we're not voting each other out. We were here together. We are kind of the ones responsible. And the tribe was very nice. They all were like, it's okay, it's not your fault, it's a really hard one. And, you know, I'm sure some of that is just saying that because I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing while also being pissed at whoever it was. So I'm sure some of it was like blowing smoke up my ass. But I do think, knock on wood, that we'll be okay.
I'm really nervous. I was hoping we wouldn't have to go to tribal until like merge, but here we are. I haven't heard my name and no one said they've heard my name. The only names I've heard, like I said, were Carlos and Gibble. So I'm feeling pretty strong with the people that I built the relationships with. I feel like they would at least tell me, but no one said they've heard my name. Or Frances, she was really worried as well because we both kind of lost that challenge last night, so we were both super worried, but we were kind of keeping each other accountable, and if we hear each other's name, we were going to tell each other, so neither of us have heard our name, so that's good.
Fortunately for Brittany and Francis, I don't think they have anything to worry about. You know, this is not one of those tribes where we punish the people who make a mistake in the challenge. This is about who we're clicking with, who we trust, and I think they're going to be safe this vote. We get back to camp, it's dark out, and the time to game is upon us. Yeah, this is why I'm here. Let's go. You know what? I heard some words of wisdom from someone named Phil Rich, and he said, if someone's up in the morning, you better wake up with them. And those words are never truer than in Survivor games, because I noticed Carlos was up and moving around, and I took advantage of that time to have a very important game conversation with him. Carlos is one of the players at the start of the game. He said he was anti-people who think the world revolves around them. That's me. I'm that player. But he did such good work. I really trust Carlos a lot more now. So I am moving forward. Carlos, Jacob, and I all played a game. That's like some commonality. I don't like that is a thing, but they are people that I like working with. Everyone likes Eleanor. Everyone. Like, everyone wants her in. So she's in. And then Mariah is someone else that Carlos threw out as a name that we can work with. That's 5 right there. And I think that's a solid majority going into this vote.
Dribble. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is the most unifying vote here.
Yeah.
Where we're not going to cause it like the divisiveness in our tribe.
Yeah.
And I think that his energy is a little chaotic, and I think in the challenges, possibly a liability.
Yeah. No, I think I had like 2 different people that were going out there.
Yeah.
And super down.
I find myself on the same tribe as Gibble. Not great. Not great. Fortunately for me, I had 2 different people tell me they wanted to get rid of Gibble. I'm just sitting here. Yeah, sure, no problem. I think this annoyance of mine is about to be extinguished very quickly with very little effort done by me.
I think Brittany and Francis would all vote for Carlos. And then you and I, that would make 5. And then Mariah and Eric Both are very much like, hey, wherever the power is. But they'd also be like, if you could push back on them, if we got another name that wasn't them too, they'd be willing to do the first 3 people I said. But like at this point, unless Carlos starts pushing something else, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, Carlos is pushing me.
Oh, well, damn.
Like I think those are the only 2 names I've heard.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know what we're gonna do. But
Well, I hope you can not vote for me.
yeah, but I don't know how we get the numbers. Like you're saying, you think you have the numbers?
I think the people I said first.
Because I'll be honest,
think I have 4 right now.
Up to this point, I didn't think you had the numbers.
Damn.
But I also didn't know where anyone was voting. That was my problem.
Yeah. I think if
I
you meet
knew
Francis.
That, yeah.
Okay.
You meet Francis?
You meet Francis, Maggie, and Brittany.
I'm like, pause.
Alright, I'm gonna
You got it.
get
the box. You got this. Get the box. Okay.
Also, I put up the tents, so kind of scared that that's going to hurt me in the long run and they're going to vote me off and go to redemption, but I showed them how to put up tents and, you know, making the fire, so I'm really scared that it's going to hurt me being more woodsy than a lot of the people out here, so.
That's funny.
I almost said we should take one end each and then run out the street.
I can do that.
We all would be like, doink it.
Did you break it?
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm noticing that there's 2 names coming out, and unfortunately, one of them is my bounty, and which I was mad that I got him as a bounty, because we're really like tight. So I really don't want to have to vote him out, and so I'm not going to. And fun fact, the bounty is Carlos. And Carlos actually has Gibble for his bounty, and he told me that. And I'm like going back in my head if I actually want to tell him that I have his bounty. But I think I want to keep it quiet for right now, and I really want to work with him in general. So if Gibble gets voted out tonight, because that's the 2 names, Gibble and Carlos, then that means that Carlos has his key. And then that could be significant for me in the future. If Carlos does end up getting voted off, then I'll have 3 keys total.
I was trying to check in with you, actually both of you.
Yeah, you got a chance to talk about
that. Yes, please.
Well, I think I'm gonna do confession on that.
Yeah, I need to do my confessional too.
Yeah.
Those are only 2 names.
Yeah. It sounds like Carlos. I really think you're good.
I think we have 6. I haven't like that.
Who's the other 2? It's mine.
I think so. I need to talk to her again.
Okay.
I think everyone wants it to be unanimous. So I think if it's a majority, I think people will tell us.
My number 1 is Carlos, and his name is out there, so that's T. I believe Jacob would probably be my number 2. And we're talking about for numbers myself, Jacob, Eric, Eleanor, out here. Okay, so last night we lost our first immunity challenge. You know, we won 3 rewards before that, so spirits weren't too low. It was an interesting night. Like, I didn't hear whispering until like late, probably 2, 3 in the morning, and I heard some whispering in the other tent. But we just seemed to like be kumbaya, which is never the case. So I believe the names right now are Carlos and Gibble. But I have, you know what, if I were playing, I would get me out. There is just too crazy for me to believe that my name isn't out there. So I'm looking out for Mama today. I'm probably gonna play my shot in the dark. If everyone is being honest, then the numbers are gonna go on Gibble, and I'll just have wasted my shot in the dark. But I'm not going home with anything, so I'm looking out for me. We'll see. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens and what we learn about everybody.
I haven't done much.
So here's my thing. I think this is 5 right here, and I've talked to each of you individually. I feel like Mariah's gonna play her shot in the dark, so this is all we know.
Okay. And I was telling him that I think Eric would vote with us. Like we were getting really like we just had a fun time going poop together.
Yeah.
I think like I think he would. And you said you bared the hatchet.
Yeah, I think so.
Because safety keys are a thing, it's important to plan ahead. There's also not a lot of time. So, next round, we got some names lined up, and going with that majority alliance I talked about, we have Maggie on the outs, Brittany on the outs, Francis on the outs. In theory, we have to get together as a group, and I'm open to any of them going, but I'm leaning towards keeping Brittany for sure. Keeping Francis. Maggie's the one I don't really connect with, so I think that might be the backup name. We'll see.
Like moving forward out of this vote, like I'm happy with this group too. Like this 5.
Yeah,
Because next round it's gonna be 9.
But I am very happy with this.
Yeah, I need to make a
Mariah, I really like. She is my bounty, so I really don't want to vote her out because I like her, but I mean, I could use the key, but hopefully I'll keep her around for a while. I also am really liking Maggie. We get along really well. We both are super into the challenges, so I really like the vibe she's giving and how much energy we both have. And Francis is really funny too, so.
Yesterday in general, other than the immunity loss, I think was really good for me. And I'm really proud of myself. Coming into this game, I was extremely worried about the social aspect. I've only played 1 game before. It took me 2 days to warm up to people. I played with my mom, and she made my alliances for me. Like literally, all my pre-merge alliances was through my mother. And I came into this knowing I'm on my own. I have to pick it up. I have to be social. I'm so awkward in new groups of people, especially large groups. But I am really proud of myself yesterday. Like I really fucking tried hard. And I think I did it. Like I think people like me. I feel like I'm fitting in. I did tell 2 people. I told, I think Mariah and Eric how nervous I was coming in. Maybe Jacob too. That I was really nervous specifically about my social game and how I would be able to fit in. And they both were like, I couldn't tell at all. Like I did not know that. Like I never would have guessed. So that makes me feel really good.
So as soon as Maggie gets back to camp after going to the outhouse, I walk up to her and I go, hey, we need to talk, the vote's changed. As she went out to the group, Carlos, Mariah, and Jacob all walked up to me and said that they had heard that Carlos's name was out there and they didn't want to do it. So I'm very worried at the moment that it might flip onto Maggie, who right now I would say is my number 1, but I'm gonna try to keep her safe here.
I have thrown Carlos's name out, which was a bad move. What was I thinking? First person to say a name? But I'm an anxious Nelly and just want people to start talking.
So it's gonna be a tough vote no matter who it is. The more I talk it out with people, the more confident I feel, like morally. So hopefully I don't have to get any of that blown back on me, and I'm just feeling good going into this first tribal.
You know, I feel okay. My name is out there. I'm definitely getting at least 1 or 2 votes, or 3 if Jacob decides to vote for me. I hope that there's no shots in the dark played. I hope that there's no idle play, but I do think that I have enough individual relationships that will keep me safe, and I hope so. Let's knock on wood. But other than that, if I'm the first one out, you guys might never see me again.
All right.
Whoa, look at all the those shits.
All right, so here we are at the first tribal council. Unfortunately, this group is the first group to have to come to tribal council. Maggie, talk to me about first impressions in this group and kind of what happened yesterday whenever you got put with this group of blue.
Well, as a newbie, I know we have a few newbies on this tribe. I was shocked at just how well we all worked together and how well we all started to connect. I think this tribe is a slow burn, and it was great to get the entire day yesterday to get to know everybody, and I think it's a really good group. I think that the loss yesterday was a fluke, and we're just gonna come back stronger today.
So Trace, Maggie mentions that this group seems to be gelling well together and you all are really getting along. And I felt like that was apparent, at least in the reward challenges that were happening yesterday. I mean, you all dominated those. What was going through your mind as you were winning challenges, and then what was the stark contrast realizing that you lost the one that was really important and then now you have to vote someone out?
I think we all established in the beginning that our strengths and our weaknesses, and we kind of just voiced that out, so that way we were able to pinpoint what person would be able to be strongest in this aspect. I have to agree with Maggie. I think yesterday with the last challenge was a fluke. I honestly think that we did try our best in all aspects. But as far as the previous challenges, I don't think we were cocky. I think we were pretty confident. We just kind of went with that energy with that too.
So Francis, both Maggie and Trace kind of used the word fluke to describe the challenge yesterday. I don't think it's any secret that you and Brittany were the two who were kind of on the portion that struggled. And then afterwards, you seemed to be pretty upset. What was going through your mind at that time, and then what was camp life going back?
Yeah, you're gonna be cry. It sucked. I mean, especially coming from the high of the reward where we got the winning point. So just you got
Please stop saying we.
We did. You got the fourth one. That's what matters. Coming from that high, I mean, it's the perfect snapshot of Survivor. The high, and then immediately the lows. I helped win us reward, and we all got to eat, and then my section lost its immunity, and it sucks. It sucks not being able to pull it out when it matters most. I think we definitely underestimated how hard it was. So definitely anxious. I know at this point, we all seem to like each other, so we're kind of looking for any little thing to vote someone out. So definitely anxiety-inducing, for sure.
Brittany, you were the other person in that portion of the challenge. There is actually a challenge advantage card in this game. It couldn't necessarily be used at that one, but if you had that, were you thinking about advantages and how important it is to get that advantage card? What's going on with the advantage card in the box that you all have back at camp?
We are still working on it. We got a hint last night that begins with the letter B. I think some people stayed up till 3 a.m. trying any B word they can think of. We were all just shouting names while we're laying down, just trying everything. So we do know it's really important. And I don't know what it would have, how it would have affected yesterday, but I feel like it would have maybe gave Francis and I a better chance if we had it. Maybe you would have had some sticks connected prior, but I think it might have helped tremendously yesterday if we had that for that exact challenge.
I can summarize our efforts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Brains, be gone, baffle.
Beacon.
We've tried so many. Those are 3, and we're still trying.
And Boogie.
We've tried
Boogie.
We've tried Beacon. We've tried Borneo. We've tried. Yeah.
Harder. We
tried Bougie.
Bougie.
Banana,
Booger.
We tried Batty. We tried Butter.
Our efforts get worse and worse.
We tried Butter and Bitter and Better and Batter.
We tried everything.
I did.
Yeah, we tried the snow. We tried the
tried that
Rogan.
twice.
You name it, we tried it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be the one where we never I know, like, can we get it tested to make sure it actually works?
Yeah.
Like,
Basically,
like
what's
how
your middle name?
Eric, speaking of the Challenge Advantage card, you were this group's donation contestant. You put in a lot of work to make sure that you would be able to have the safety here at this first tribal council and then potentially gain access to a Challenge Advantage card. How does it feel to know that you were able to enter this round without really being unable to be voted for?
It feels awesome. Obviously, that's great. That's why I'm wearing a tutu right now. Thank you, Sam, for that. I really had a lot of fun with getting as many crazy incentives as possible to get people to donate. I feel lucky that I ended up getting that safety, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel really nice, because the first round has got to be nerve-wracking for everybody.
Eleanor, Eric mentions that it's nerve-wracking, like for everyone, being the first round. This being your first tribal council, what was going through your head back at camp, realizing that I have to go with this brand new group of people, and where was your nerve levels?
Well, it being like my first LRG, I would say I was kind of nervous that everyone was going to take the advantage of that and kind of like use it against me and be like, all right, like, let's go tell her it's going to be somebody else, and then behind her back it's actually going to be her. So like, I was hoping that wasn't the case. I'm pretty confident it's not, but I mean, that's how I was feeling this morning. I think that's how all of us newbies felt. We were all just like, all right, what if they're using this as a tactic rather than like helping us and like guiding us through it? So, but I feel a lot better now. Now that the day's gone by and I've been able to talk to everybody, I feel a little bit more confident.
Carlos, Eleanor mentions that she's feeling confident. Is that a word you would use to describe your mindset right now?
Absolutely not. I know my name has been going around, and I think the reasons are valid and fair. I'm somebody that struggles opening up early on, and I'm a slow burner. I don't know if that's even a word, but when I approach strangers, it takes me a bit to open up, so I'm a bit quieter at first. So it makes sense that some people may have felt that I was uneasy to read.
Gibble, Carlos mentions that for him, whenever he enters a new group of people, it can be difficult for him to open up. He needs a little bit more time. Do you experience something like that, or are you able to open up to this group a little bit more quickly, did you feel?
It's really tough because you do have to gauge it. On every game you play, every group you join, any tribe or team that you have to stand on, you have to feel like, what is the right time to strategize? What is the right time to be social, to build the tent? And there's always something in the back of your mind going, am I just a little bit too late? We saw last season that people right out the gate instantly strategizing, and I don't know whether I was left out of it, but I felt that wasn't really the vibe at our tribe. I kind of enjoyed that for the first day, but it does suck that we have to go to tribal, and I'll use the word fluke as well.
So Mariah, the mention of like strategy and like how to work around strategy in this game, there's the unique component to surviving Bloomington of the safety keys where they can even stack and be shared. What sort of talk amongst this group is happening with the safety keys, and are people trying to get more, or are people trying to just ignore them, or what?
I don't know. I think that, we've all kind of looked. We've talked about how hard it is to find them, and it's not like a secret, like, oh, they're looking for something, we're looking, because it's just so massive out here, and leaves and the way everything kind of blends in. But talk about it, no, I haven't.
So Jacob, you all are our mischief makers, and the greatest way a mischief maker can truly cause some mischief is to buy a power of mischief. It's that easy. Are people thinking about seeing what these things can do and how powerful they can actually be?
It's also pretty convenient that they only cost 2 keys. It would only require somebody to get 1 more key to be able to make that move, and there's a deck of 10 cards. Not all of these things are going to be easy. Not all of these things are going to be advantageous to the person that picks these cards. So I see it as a huge risk to pick up one of those mischief makers.
So you think the word power of mischief would give someone a disadvantage?
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 on how it can play for the person. I think that it's as risky as it is rewarding.
All right. Anything anyone else wants to say? All right, with that, we will get to the vote. We'll start with Jacob and zigzag through.
I'm guessing that's supporting it. Oh, yeah.
All right, the votes have been cast. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. If you have a hidden immunity idol and you wish to play it, now would be the time to do so. I'll read the votes. First vote, Gibble. Second vote, Carlos. Gibble. Maggie. Gibble. That's 3 votes Gibble, 1 vote Carlos, 1 vote Maggie. Gibble. The first person voted out of surviving Bloomington mischief makers, Gibble. That's enough. You can bring me your torch. Gibble, you will have a chance to re-enter this game. You can head with Melanie and Elisa to Redemption Island. Well, with what appears to be your all's first blindside, it's clear that you know what you're doing, and this was just the first vote. You can grab your torches and head on out.
Maggie, I hope that this doesn't send you home. I'm trying to throw off my vote to gain the safety key. The real target here is Gibble, and both you and I know that, and I hope that that's what happens tonight.
This is nothing personal. Like I said, we're going with the majority of the vote, so I'm sorry, buddy.
So, Gibble, I was gonna play my shot in the dark until I told you I was gonna play my shot in the dark, and you went and told everybody. So, sorry.
I have given up my safety key to Maggie. Hopefully they can open up the power of mischief and get something good for our team. Gotta work on the connections a little quicker.
Sorry, Gibble. I know you're not expecting this, but my game's still unfolding, and you're just moving too fast.
Gibble, it's clear that you have not learned much from the Challenge Great Lakes last weekend. And if you get back in from redemption, I'm going to send your ass packing a 4th consecutive vote.
You're just a little too mischievous for our tribe. Sorry.
I'm voting for Gibble. This was the majority vote, unfortunately. I think you're a really great person. You are playing the game really hard, so I think it's intimidating some people. But I hope you don't take too much offense to this. But you're a really good game player.
I figure like you guys probably already had everybody do this, but I'm gonna do it one more time just in case. I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not getting voted out. I saw just found one key.